That's it. You've got your degrees. But don't leave just yet. I do have a few words to convey to you. But before I go any further, congratulations again to the parents and families for all the support and love and confidence you've shown your children these past 4 years or 5 years. This is truly a wonderful day for you. You have every right to be proud of your children who have accomplished something important here. And I want to thank you for entrusting your children to us for the past 4 or 5 years. During that time, they've contributed much to this university, and for that, we're very grateful. And congratulations to you, the terrific class of 2009. You really are a great class. No one knows quite what makes one class different from another. I think it may have to do with the major events that shape your time here. For your class, in addition to the usual elements of campus life that mark the Carnegie Mellon experience, booth, buggy, superb cuisine, the light workload, your time, in fact, coincided with some major historic events. Katrina hit New Orleans just as you were starting classes. Without a word of complaint, you made room in your dorms, in your classes, labs, and studios for dozens of students from Tulane. And you did much more, showing great empathy, and I think a sense of community responsibility that was to characterize the rest of your time here. From the way you engaged issues on campus to the things you did during spring break in places like Nicaragua, Panama, and Ghana, as well as New Orleans. Professor Randy Pausch gave his last lecture at the beginning of your junior year, and he died last summer. Randy, who made his last public appearance last year, right here, at this very moment, touched millions of people all over the world. For you and me, for Carnegie Mellon people, it was personal, and it ran deep, touching the very core of what defines our community. You participated in a national election to a degree that no Carnegie Mellon class ever had before. And of course, the collection produced an historic result. You turned out for our campaign launch and Impact Weekend and mobbed Zach Quinto, and that was before he was Mr. Spock. And I have to mention for completeness, even though it was mentioned already, if for nothing else, that you happen to be here for 2 Super Bowl victories by the Steelers. You have no idea what pain that causes a native of Cleveland, Ohio like me. But that's the topic of another speech. In any event, 2 Steelers victories, something not enjoyed by a Carnegie Mellon class for 3 decades. Whatever the forces that have made your class what it is, it's been wonderful to have you here. You've made Carnegie Mellon a better place, and you've raised the bar for the classes that will follow you. I have to say, it's a good thing that you're such a strong class because the world will need you even more than Carnegie Mellon has. Unfortunately, your senior year also happened to coincide with a financial crisis and economic downturn of epic proportions. And of course, I'll let that go. Recession's bad, but that's not all. There's a whole set of challenges, many of them long-standing, which we're now starting to confront head-on. There's the state of the environment, especially global warming, in the sense that it really is time, past time really, that we own up to the problem. Then there's the high cost of health care and a Medicare and Social Security system whose future is very uncertain. And there's a new world order where it's no longer the G7, but the G20 who must come together to seek collective action. And an international sphere with active wars, threats from long-simmering tensions, and from groups who are not nations or subject to any rule of law. It may seem that this may be just about the worst of times, with challenges daunting beyond measure. But in another sense, this is an exciting time, filled with opportunity for those skilled enough and confident enough to take on the challenges. Are you ready? The class of 2009? I say absolutely yes. And let me tell you why. I've thought about this, actually, really have. And so has Howard Gardner, the acclaimed education theorist who spent a lifetime thinking about the diverse intelligences and strengths human beings bring to their lives. Recently, Professor Gardner proposed that higher education's goals today should be to develop what he calls 5 minds for the future, 5 kinds of learning that he sees as essential for the century ahead. This may be daunting for some institutions, but not for Carnegie Mellon and not for you. When you hear about his 5 minds, you're going to think Professor Gardner has spent the last 4 years living in our steam tunnels. The first mind Professor Gardner sees as essential is the disciplinary mind, the achievement of mastery in some field or skill. That, as you know, is the foundation of our curriculum here, which centers on attaining excellence in your major, taking a deep dive into one subject and getting really, really good at it. Employees are always telling me how Carnegie Mellon grads are ready to work from day one, with skill sets already in place. You wouldn't be sitting here today without having attained this disciplinary mind already. The second is the synthesizing mind, which Professor Gardner says is the ability to integrate ideas from different disciplines or spheres into a coherent whole and to communicate that integration to others. Interdisciplinary work is, of course, a Carnegie Mellon trademark, one which is expressed in everything we do here. Some of you combine disciplines by double majoring in 2 very disparate things: chemical engineering and psychology, computer science and Chinese studies, chemistry and Hispanic studies, business administration and philosophy, art, anthropology, and human-computer interaction. Short of double or triple majors, you took subjects that complement and inform each other, like computer science and biology, or robotics and design. And you collaborated on teams, like those of you who took integrated product development with its project groups of designers, marketers, and engineers, and building virtual worlds, which brings together artists of all sorts with computer scientists and engineers. Some of you are musicians and actors whose whole art forms are inherently collaborative. We value collaboration so highly because a single discipline can rarely solve an important problem acting on its own. Or as Eric put it, the group is always smarter than the individual. That's why working on interdisciplinary teams to build solar houses or robots or video games or plays has been such an important part of your experience here. The third mind is the creating mind. At Carnegie Mellon, we're very proud that the arts are at the heart of our university, but creativity is by no means limited to CFA people alone. We view creativity as the capacity to ask new questions, try something new, to innovate. These things characterize every department in all that we do here at Carnegie Mellon. John Hall, our graduate who won the Nobel Prize for Physics a few years ago, echoed that when he recalled his own experience as a student. Dr. Hall said that the essential Carnegie Mellon teaching is fearlessly trying something new. That is creativity, and whether you studied it in mathematics or architecture or French or triple majored in all three, you have practiced that here. The last two minds are less about skills than they are about relating to other people, but they are critical nevertheless. The respectful mind recognizes and appreciates differences among people and groups of people. I dare say that whoever you are and wherever you're from, you encountered people at Carnegie Mellon very different from yourself. You probably made friends with some, or worked together on a team project, or played together on a sports team. Shared interests are a great tool for generating respect. I'm very proud of the way we recognize and respond to different points of view on this campus, from courses like Global Information Systems Management and Arab American Encounters, to deliberative democracy and decision-making, to public forums about controversies that affect our community. These thoughtful approaches to building community are the foundations of the respectful mind, which, as Gardner says, in our fractious and interconnected world, has never been more crucial. Finally, there is the ethical mind. In light of the excesses and unethical behavior that seem to have marked the current economic crisis, this element of your preparation seems especially timely. You had a chance to ponder ethical questions within your own majors, and you were confronted with moral dilemmas that you will face as financiers, managers, engineers, designers, actors, policymakers, chemists, or whatever path you choose. I find it very reaffirming that ethics classes here at Carnegie Mellon continue to be in very high demand, a sure sign that you appreciate the importance of ethics and ethical behavior. You showed this also not only with your response to Katrina and in your spring break activities, but also with your incredible amount of community service in schools, hospitals, and social service agencies that you performed every single week, with your devotion to raising money for charities by selling mountains of Krispy Kremes or flipping pancakes on the cut in a snowstorm, or any number of other goofy schemes like cow pie bingo, my favorite. But also in a very serious way, including things like the moving candlelight vigil that took place one evening in response to the killings in Mumbai last fall. That was the ethical mind at work. The disciplinary mind, the synthesizing mind, the creating mind, and the respectful and ethical mind. The world needs people who can summon the skills from all of these 5 domains of learning. And those who can are in a superb position to recognize and to realize opportunities for change and progress. And no one is better prepared for this than you are, the marvelous Carnegie Mellon class of 2009. This won't be easy, but then again, this wasn't easy either. We have great confidence in you. Educationally, you are the complete package, ready for success and impact in a way that few others are. You've made this university a better place, and you will make the world a better place too. We're proud to call you Carnegie Mellon alumni. On behalf of the entire Carnegie Mellon community, congratulations and thank you.